Hello there. My name is Brian Hitzelberger, and I'm going to be your professor for ART 1100, Introduction to Art, which is a hybrid class that's going to be taught in the fall 2018 semester here at Piedmont College. So welcome. This is a video post that I'm making in response to the introductory video, and really what we're looking to do this week, these first few days of classes, is really just kind of get a feel for like how these video discussions are going to work, run any kind of troubleshooting, have everyone kind of go through the process of making and posting a video here in Canvas because we want to actually kind of work out any kinks with this process through IT or through any kind of help that you may need at this point rather than like once the semester really gets going. I asked everyone to kind of make a video and upload a video introducing themselves to the class, and I figured I would start since I'm the teacher. So I've got some questions here. What is your major here at Piedmont? I'm going to answer these questions from the perspective of being a professor. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Art. I teach painting, drawing, printmaking. I also teach in the foundations area, and I teach our Gen Ed course, which is an art appreciation course that students from all over the university takes. My major when I was in undergrad, however, I majored in printmaking. I got a BFA, and I had a second major in English literature. So, what year are you in your program at Piedmont? I am in my 6th year here at Piedmont. I've been teaching here for 6 years. It's the best job I've ever had. I've taught at multiple schools all over Georgia, and I really enjoy being here a good amount. Been here for 6 years. How do you learn best? I am a doer. I learn best by doing, but doing for me means different things. It could mean making art. It could mean actually taking it upon myself to go out and find my own answers. So I like to learn by doing my own research, whether that's on the internet or through more old-fashioned ways of like going to libraries. I really like to learn through the process of doing. When do you expect to graduate? I guess never, because I'm employed by a university, so I suppose I'm never graduating. Have you taken any other art appreciation classes? If so, what? So I actually never took an art appreciation class when I was a student because I was an art major. This is a course that's not really required for our majors because they actually get a lot of the content that's covered in this class in their other classes that are germane to their major. But I can tell you that I've taught this class at Piedmont, at the University of Georgia, at the University of North Georgia, and at I've taught kind of versions of this class when I've worked in museums and also community art centers, both in Georgia and in Louisiana, which is where I lived before I lived in Georgia. So I've actually taught this class a number of times. I probably taught this class more than I've taught any other class. And I'm always kind of trying to change things up and make things interesting. So I've got some new content coming this way that I'm kind of excited about for this semester. What do you want to gain from this class? I like to hope that I gain from this class the same thing I hope from all my classes, which is just, a greater understanding of who you all are and how you see art playing a role in your lives and the types of things that you do and don't respond to. I find the process of teaching and working with students to be really invigorating. I am an artist myself, and when I'm making my own work, I certainly am thinking about things like audience. But I find when I teach these classes that I really have to think in a different way about how art affects other people. And so I feel like I learn a lot just by working with students in these classes. What do you think of when you hear the term contemporary art? Contemporary art to me, when I think of that term, I think of a really exciting field of artwork that doesn't necessarily fall easily into categorization. I think contemporary artists are people who can be a little bit of troublemakers. They don't necessarily stick to one thing. An artist may actually make work in one medium and then switch to another. They may make work that kind of puts the viewer in a state of confusion, but that confusion could be very intentional. But I'm also aware that many people, when they hear the term contemporary art, are alienated and think of it as something that is just really not for them, and something that I'm hoping at the end of this class is that really we're able to let that perception go and understand that art making is a human activity. And if you're a human being, there's a place for you inside of it. Do you have any concerns about this course? If so, what? A concern that I have for all online courses is that they fall by the wayside when kind of working with your other brick and mortar courses. So if you're a full-time student, quite likely you're taking at least 3 other classes in addition to this one, maybe even more. And this class is actually not a class where you can wait and do everything in the last week. There are going to be regular check-ins and regular points where you're having to turn in assignments and make videos and things like that. And my concern about this course is that the structure may be a bit more like a traditional course than maybe you're expecting for an online course. But I have found over the years that actually the more an online course can function like a traditional course in terms of timelines and expectations, the better it is for everybody. So that's my concern for the course. Tell me something about yourself that you feel is interesting. So something interesting about myself. I already mentioned that I am an artist. I guess the other thing that I really like to spend my time doing is I'm a really big reader. I probably read maybe like 1 or 2 books a week. And I think I've kept up that habit all through my schooling, all through grad school, and pretty much started when I was a teenager. So for, I feel like maybe about 20 years now, I've been putting away 2 books a week, and that's a lot of books. You kind of end up like learning a lot of stuff. And so I really love to read, and that's like one of my absolute favorite things to do. So it's the most interesting thing I can think of right now. Anyway, this is my introductory video. I'm curious to see all of yours. Above this video in the original post, there is an embedded YouTube video that goes through the process of how to embed a video on here. I found that this seems like the easiest way to go is to create a YouTube channel for yourself if you don't already have one. Record your videos using whatever technology that you're using. I'm using my desktop in my office, the camera that's at the top of my screen. You can record a video on your phone, but then upload the video to your YouTube account, and YouTube will store it. So the video file will be stored on YouTube, and then it's also compressed at a resolution that won't like crash Canvas or your computer or anything like that. Then you can use the embed code that YouTube makes for you to actually put it inside Canvas. It's a little bit of a process. There's a few steps, and that's why we're actually this week focusing just on getting that under our belts. Because next week we're off to the races, and we're actually making videos that will be evaluated and graded as form of discussions. Thanks so much. I think that that's all that I have to say right now. I really look forward to watching your videos, and any questions or anything like that, please email me at bhitzelberger@piedmont.edu. My email is included in the syllabus, and I will try and get back to you just as soon as I can. In the beginning of the semester, there's always a deluge of emails, so it might take me a little bit of time to get back to you. Thanks so much, and I wish you all a happy semester.